Hi dear students, today we are going to discuss another topic in the oligopoly competition, that is the Kinked Demand Curve. In the last class we studied about what you mean by this oligopoly and what are the various characteristics of oligopoly, what is the reason for oligopoly and all these things. And today we are going to the next part, that is how the price and output is determined under the oligopoly. Actually, there are three approaches for determining the price and output under the oligopoly. The first one is the concept of kinked demand curve, and the second one is the price leadership model, and the third one is pricing under collusion. We will discuss the price leadership model and price under collusion in the next sessions. Now or today we are going to discuss about the concept of kinked demand curve. Let us see what you mean by this kinked demand curve. Actually, this concept is introduced by American economist Paul M. Sweezy. Actually, this kinked demand curve explains the situations of price rigidity under the oligopoly competition. We know the price rigidity, that means the price will be stable. It will, if that means that we already seen that in the oligopoly competitions, if one firms decreases the price, the other firms also decreases the price, and if any firms increases the price, the other firms will not change the price. Okay, so the price will always be same. Okay, and next one is we can there is a king at prevailing market price in the kinked demand curve. Actually, the reason for this king is that the first reason is that if an oligopoly firm reduces the price, the rivals will not reduce the prices. Okay, and the firm which reduced the price will fails to promote the sales. If every firms will reduce the price, then the firm which first reduce the price will not get any sales, because the other firms also reduce the price, so the price will be equal in the market. And again, opposite condition, that is, if an oligopoly firm raises the price, the rivals will not increases the price. So what happened? The customers will shift from the original firms to the rivals product. So here also the entire loser is the firm which first rise the price. Okay. So if it increases the price or if it decreases the price, the effect will be same. Next one is this kinked demand curve, or the king separates the demand curve into two, that is upper portion and the lower portion, and in the upper portion will be the more elastic and the lower portion will be less elastic. Okay, actually this is the reason, these two are the reasons for more elastic and less elastic. Okay, and actually, the oligopoly decides to maintain the price and output at the rolling price. That is the price rigidity. They don't want to increase or decrease the price, because if it increase the price, the other firms will not increase the price. So the firm which increase the price will lose the customers. And again, if any firms decreases the price, the other firms also decrease the price, and they also fails to promote the sales. Okay, so the oligopolistic firms decides to maintain price and output at the rolling price level. Okay, and next is the graph. This is about the graph, and here we can see two axes. The first axis, that is the x-axis and y-axis, and in the x-axis the quantity, and y-axis we can see the price. Okay, so the quantity is marked in the x-axis and the price is marked in the y-axis, and this is D1, D2. See the demand here. This is a kinked demand curve. Actually, it has a kink at the S. So this is the demand curve. D2, D1 is the demand curve, and it has a kink at the point S, and this represents the prevailing market price, that is the OP is the prevailing market price, and OM is the prevailing market quantity. Okay, so next is we can see the already we had explained there is a kink at the point S, and D2 D sorry D2 DS, this portion D2 S is more elastic. We had seen the king will divide the demand curve into two, that is D2S and D1S. The demand curve is divided into two, that is D2S and D1S. Okay, and the D2S, that is the upper portion, is more elastic. Okay, we know the reasons. What is the reasons? Already we discussed, because if an oligopoly firm raises the price, rivals will not increase the price, and the customers will shift to the rivals products. So that's why the D2S portion is more elastic. And the second portion, that is SD1, it is less elastic. Also we know the reasons. If an oligopoly forms reduces the price, um, the rivals will also reduce the price and fails to promote the sale. That's why the D1S is less elastic. Okay, so we had seen the demand curve is divided into two. There is a king at the point of S, D2S and D1S. This is more elastic, and this is less elastic. That is, the lower portion is less elastic and upper portion is more elastic, and we know the reason also. And this represents the price rigidity. Okay, so this we can see the price is only at a OP, so this represents the price rigidity. We already discussed about the demand curve. Now we are going to see what happens to MR curve, that is the marginal revenue curve. And here also the marginal revenue curve is also divided into two, that is MN and QR. This is the MN portion, MN portion, and next is QR portion. This is the two parts of demand curve, and this MN portion represents the marginal revenue curve of D2S, and this QR represents the marginal revenue curve of the SD1 demand. Okay, actually we know that the demand is also divided into D2S and SD1, and this MN represents the demand curve of D2S, and this MR represents the demand curve of SD1. Okay. And next one, we can see a discontinuity, that is the dotted lines between the N and Q. Actually, this is due to the difference in the elasticity of two portion of demand curve. We already seen the upper part and the lower part is entirely different elastics. So due to this difference in elastic, the dotted lines happen between the N and Q. Here also, the equilibrium condition is MR equal to MC, and this OM and OP is the equilibrium quantity and equilibrium price. Okay, and at this point the firm attains the equilibrium because the MC cut demand curve from the below, or the MC is equal to MR at this portion. Okay, and the MC between the QN will not change the equilibrium. That means the demand curve may go up or downward, changes upward, up or downwards, but this MC between the QN will not change the equilibrium. In spite of changes of the demand, the price remains always same. That the conclusion that we get from the kinked demand. Already we said that if the kinked demand curve represents the rigidity in the price, and we know the reason, and so In spite of changes of cost and demand, the price always remain stable. But there is a one drawback to this kinked demand approach or kinked demand curve theory, that is it does not explain how the initial price is fixed at OP. We already seen that this is the equilibrium price or this is the initial price, that is OP. But this approach does not explain how we got this OP as initial price or how we set the OP as the initial price. So that's about the kinked demand curve. You want to read your text again and again. Actually, kinked demand curve is slightly bit difficult to understand, but watch this video and also read your text. Uh, the only conclusion is that the kinked demand curves represents the price rigidity in the oligopoly market. Okay, thank you.